Let me make sure I actually remember to unmute myself today. And there we go. Turn on the virtual background so that you don't have to look at all the junk that's sitting behind me. Ooh, there's something. It's picking up something over my shoulders. No, that way. What's that way? Hmm. Something up there is buzzing out on the feed. But oh well. Not to worry. That's the problems of not having a real green screen and I'm going to say a somewhat messy background, but it's only messy because that's where this room used to be the kids' room before anything, before pandemic and stuff like that. So it's still set up for all of that sort of stuff. But we're back for another week, trying to continuing on with the video conferencing app be sort of thing that we've been doing, playing with the Azure communication services. I've actually done a bunch of work between last time and this time. Let's pop over there. And wonder what that is. I think that might be where the sun's coming in. That could be interesting. Oh, there we go. That'll get rid of it. Sorted. Okay, yeah. So since last time, I've actually been doing a bunch of stuff to try and improve the way the application works and looks, and just like kind of tackle some of the technical debt that I was building in for myself from the way the application was work. So it now looks a little bit better, and it works a little bit better. At least I think it works a bit better. I don't need the virtual camera running because we're going to run out of webcams shortly. But the workflow should be that we start the call. It's going to prompt you for a name. So this name will be based off of the account that you're signed into using static web apps. So when you sign in with static web apps, you get a client profile back. And inside of that client profile will be the basic details of your the username or something to that ilk that's provided by the source that you've come from, and a client ID, so the unique identifier for you from that kind of external system, and then the roles that you've been provided with inside of the application. So because I'm just using for localhost just a test account, that's why it comes up with this, but we can chuck in like Aaron. Now I have my camera feed, and we'll grab the camera that's up into my side there. There we go. This one has this is using XSplit, which is a different bit of virtual background management, like virtual camera background removal, that sort of stuff. I actually use to control the webcam that's on the screen to my right, because it has an autofocus bug, and like if we were to swap to the live cam directly, actually we can't swap to the live cam directly because it's being used by XSplit, so we have to go to we'll go to logic capture, which won't work. Then we'll come back to here, and like it's going to phase in and out periodically because it can't focus on me properly. We'll go back to XSplit. So there's that, and then the last thing that we're going to have is the microphone. So we'll chuck this in, and then we hit start call. So this is like, theoretically there is now an active call running within inside of our application. How do I connect to it? Well, that's what we're going to tackle today, hopefully. And other things that are kind of interesting of note is, so the ID is that GUID that we're generating for the call. We'll go back and have a look at that momentarily. The state is listed as none, but I actually was doing some debugging earlier on, and I found that that's not really the case. So if we come over to the component stack, so it's coming from this component here, and here's the call. Now it's actually connected. At least that's what the internal state is being represented as. And so we're connected to the call, but we're not reflecting that change has happened. And I think the primary reason for that is that this is happening inside of something that we're not observing changes on, or at least React is not observing changes for. And I'm not quite sure what will be the best way to kind of force a re-render. The only way I can kind of think of is that we will unpack that and put that into like a separate piece of state, which is it's not ideal, but it would work. So let's jump back to the application and have a look at through some of the changes that I've done in the last couple of days, and yeah, look at where we're going to go next with it. Righto then. So I've done some refactoring of the code base because there was a bunch of stuff in there that, like I said, it was kind of technical debty, and I wanted to sort of address that. So nothing in the API that doesn't change because literally the API is just for issuing tokens for the user at the moment. Down the track, we might make the API a little bit more intelligent, like not reissue a new user token every time, but reuse tokens. But you know that's future Aaron's problem. So what I've done, let's start with the app page. I actually have 3 layers of context now. We have the calling context. So this is the information around the like a calling system. So this is giving us access to our where's the calling context? Let's just pop that one over here. So the calling context gives us access to the microphones and the cameras, the device agent and the calling agent. So this is the things you would use to manage calls within inside of ACS. Device manager, as we've seen in previous episodes, is what we use to get back the list of cameras or microphones that we're going to have available on the screen. The call agent, it's the thing that initializes a call from what I can tell. I'm still not quite sure. I'm still trying to work out exactly what the call agent does. And then the device manager is just the interface to getting back the camera and the microphone list, and also requesting permission to access those from the browser. Because if we don't request permissions, we can't actually do anything with them. Next up, we have the user call settings. So we'll pop this one here, user call settings. So this bit of context is providing information about that user in scope of the current active call. So what is the current camera, microphone? What is their name? Do they have a camera and microphone enabled? Because you can toggle those on and off, and like it makes sense to be able to toggle those on and off. Now I've created at least the camera and mic enabled. They're being tracked as separate Boolean values on the on state itself. Now we could have them like not have them explicit and just have them as implicit based off like if there is an undefined camera or an undefined microphone, then assume that the camera and microphone are not turned on. But I decided to keep it explicit just so it's very clear when coming back and looking at the code of how we manage state of cameras and microphones. So yeah, they can be turned on and off from the new and improved joins like pre-call screen. And then the last is the active call context. Active call context, which is here. And so this is the information about the current call that you are within. Primarily, this has a function to actually start a call, although that should maybe actually be on the calling context provider because that's kind of where that sort of stuff lives. So I might actually be pushing that up, and then we have the active call. Now that's something that is going to be useful for us to track because, well, it's we need to interact with the call. There's events that happen on the call that we need to do stuff with and respond to, and that's sort of where we'll tackle today. So I've added the group ID, so that's the thing for the call to the URL, just so it's easy to get access to. But we're probably going to need another page to allow you to join an existing call rather than just connecting to like just creating new calls, because at the moment we can create calls, but they're only with ourselves, and well, we kind of want to be able to join other people's existing calls. So yeah, we'll probably add a new page for that today. and handle some of that logic. From a UI update, like I said, I've gone through and added some basic structure and styling to it so that it looks a little bit better. I'm using Fluent UI, which is something that has been produced. Well, I think it actually might have come originally from the Office team in Microsoft. And the reason I went with that is because it kind of has that sort of Teams-esque experience, which is, I mean, we're kind of building something very similar to Teams. So it was like, well, I may as well see if I can make it like really look like Teams by actually using the same stuff that is underpinning Teams. But yeah, it's the same as a lot of other sort of component libraries, like stylized component libraries. We get things like let's go to the Connect page. So we have a stack, and inside of a stack, we have stack items, and then we can choose how those lay out. We have drop down lists, we have icons, all that sort of stuff. For the camera and microphone, I'm actually using the drop down list provided by Fluent UI. So I've just extracted these out to their own components. So I've got camera picker and mic picker, because also once you're in a call, I want you to be able to like change devices. So like if you're in a call, you do want to change which camera you've got active, well, you're going to be able to do that. So that'll be sort of something that we'll tackle down the track. But I haven't done that obviously just yet. Because, well, you can't really, like, we're not even showing your screen when you're in the call, let alone anyone else that's joined in. One thing I did find a little bit annoying about the way he implemented the camera and the mic pickers is that so a camera list is an array of video device video device info, and then we have the audio device info for microphones. Now, they have some common properties on them, like the ID and name in particular. Also, there's another thing that indicates where it comes from, and they always seem to say USB, which sort of makes sense. I should be interested to try this on a laptop or something where I've got like an inbuilt camera, and see if that actually comes up differently. Well, we might get to that depending on how many cameras we need today. But yeah, because they don't have a single parent type that they inherit from that contains the just like device info. Like I was expecting like a device info interface. I couldn't use the same component without basically doing type testing constantly and going like, is it a video device info or is it an audio device info? So that's some feedback I'm going to have for the team, is that like this would be a really simple way to improve things, because then you can create more reusable components, which ultimately we want to do. Like that's part of the point of React, is you want sort of as much reusability as you can. But let's get started with the current active call, and I'm going to close all others. We'll start with this file. Because what I want to do is, first of all, I want to tackle the fact that the status is not getting updated as as it actually changes. And I was doing some digging around in existing samples to try and understand precisely how that all happens. And it looks like that there is some events on the call itself that we probably want to subscribe to. So we'll come into the active call context. And we already put in a few events, such as the local video streams updated and the remote participants updated, sort of future proofing when I was playing around last week. But what we want is call.on, and we're going to listen to the call state change. And let's just console.log, because I'm not quite sure what we're going to get in that as an event. Go back to here, and we'll have to start a new call. Oh, wait, no, come back here, reload. Oh, the other thing I've done is I've added a bit better persistence. So when you reload this page, it would often send you back through to the login screen. And the reason it was doing that was it couldn't find your profile information. So the profile information is now just getting stored with inside of here it is, local storage. Then we don't need that one anymore. So I just have, here's the identity information that's coming through there. Like I say, it's just a mock version that I've got here. There's no sign out functionality at the moment, so there's no way to clear that without coming in and just like deleting it explicitly. But we'll get there. We're chipping away at things. Okay, so let's select our devices. Oh yeah, so we can toggle camera off and on. And if you toggle the camera off, it forgets which one you had previously selected, because we treat that as a full clear out of your option. Hit start call, and now let's have a look into the console and see, do we get did we get any messages? No, it doesn't look like. Whoops. I forgot to mute messages. There we go. And then you get to see one of my Slack channels, but it's the F sharp one that I'm in, the public F sharp one. Okay, so did call state change actually get fired? I don't know. Let's do let's put in a better message, console.log call state changed, and then whoops, that was that E, and we've got too many brackets. There we go. Save that. The argument of type call state change is not assignable to what? Is it not like what E is? This is a weird one. Oh, because yeah, okay, so I think I need to explicitly type what the E argument is. We need to import that. Okay. Remote participant event. So that one is, let's just put in some better types around. So that's what's going to be there. That's what's going to be there. And then we're going to have to import a couple of things. No, that's not remote participant. That will be, let's delete that. So that's not what E is going to be. E is local video stream collection. And convert to anonymous function. No. Let's have a look. What does it think that should be? Yeah, so local video stream updated should be a listener that receives an argument of collection updated event. Local video stream. Doesn't like any of these typings. It really doesn't like any of these types. Let's go into their type definition and have a look at what we've got there. So we got call state change, which is going to be that one. We have remote participant updated, which is taking an event and a listener. Oh no, hang on a sec. The listener is going to be of that type, which is that's why. Because that's not what it is. Yeah, it is going to be T, but that T will actually be a local video stream. And then this one is going to be a remote video stream. remote video stream, and then that's not a property changed event. Oh, that doesn't actually receive any arguments. Okay. And then we can't console log E. Still doesn't like that. Okay, so we get remote participant. Ah, no, hang on a sec. It's remote participant, not. Read your type definitions properly, Aaron. Read your type definitions. I actually have something I need to check. I will be back in just a minute. So I will be just pausing for a second. Back shortly. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, we're back. Yes, that's. I was just having a look at the way that this is one of the big samples from Microsoft around how to use this sort of stuff. And I was just having a dig around through the way these events are written up here, and yeah, everything is having to be kind of like inline typed. There isn't a structured type that represents this thing here. Like that's for calls updated, but you get the point. And yeah, that one is actually empty arguments with a void return. So I was mistaken. I was expecting that the call that would receive the argument, but we're going to do call.state, which will be existing there, and then start new calls. I really do hope it disconnects calls when I start new calls because I'm doing a lot of just like new calls. Yeah. And I should probably fix get some persistence in here so it remembers your last selected camera. We could put that in state. Oh, another thing that I noticed, and I think this was the problem that I was having last week on stream, was like the cameras were never starting and stuff like that. The way that I'm rendering out the camera, this little like video feed of the camera here on screen, I don't think I'm error handling that appropriately. Because so right now, like if I select my XSplit video, and then if I swap through to NVIDIA Broadcast, which is what's going into OBS, you'll notice all these error messages that are appearing down the side. Now, those error messages are basically just telling me that it can't connect to the device. The media device is already used by another process, and so it can't read from that video source. If I go back to the VCam, then it works there. Let's just clear that off. It'll be the same sort of error if I try and go directly to the live cam because it's actually being consumed by XSplit. Whereas if I bounce it through to, say, Logitech and then go back. So what that's doing is it's disconnecting the browser source from that camera, and then you can select it again. So now the way the virtual cameras work seems to be different than going into physical cameras because I can go from a physical camera through to a virtual camera, but I can't go the other way around. Let's just check, yeah. And we can do our OBS virtual camera because that's pushing out a video feed. But I couldn't hit the Brio directly because the Brio is in use by NVIDIA Broadcast. I couldn't hit Like, yeah, I can hit NVIDIA broadcast, but I can hit OBS virtual camera, and I can hit that one. So like, that was something that I was struggling a lot with last week, is that we just couldn't attach to cameras. And that's where I was trying to set up a second laptop and then use that. And then we had a whole bunch of problems with the second laptop, unable to access the website that was running. And yeah, it's becoming hard work. Okay, so let's start our call. Okay, so we see that the call state has changed to connecting, and the call state has changed to connected. Excellent. So that's, well, I mean, that's doing what we expect it to do. Like, we're connected to the call, which is what we saw previously, when we looked into the React component. But what we're lacking is some way for that to reflect on screen. So we're going to need to do something in this event callback that tells it, oh, let's delete those unused usings. Oops. We can clean up some of this. Remove unused usings. Yeah, there's going to need to do something that says, hey, yeah, you want to do something about this call, and you want to refresh the information available to the React components about this call. And the only way I can think to do that is to just be forcible and say, push something into state, because that'll result in a re-render. But I kind of don't want something in state, because it doesn't really make sense for there to be something in state. Yeah. I wonder. Let's just have a look at the React hooks docs. Hooks docs. It's, I mean, essentially this is an effect. But the thing that will cause that effect to run is beyond React's control. Let's go React hook trigger event emitter. Essentially, we're working with something that is doing something that's doing an event, yeah, an event emitter. So because the call itself is emitting events, we need to subscribe to that. Okay, create custom hooks that listen to DOM events. That's kind of, I don't really want to watch the video of that. Let's have a super fast read through a document. That is just tracking the viewport width. Viewport width. So let's have a look. Well, that's something that we'll need to remember to do. I mean, not specifically remove a window, but we will need to detach from the call itself, like when the component unmounts. So there will be sort of an unsubscribe event that's going to be happening. But we yeah, see, this is then pulling in like this get viewport width function, and it's setting that, but we don't. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to track call state explicitly on the component, and I think fundamentally what we're going to need to do is not that one there. We're going to need that one. I'm going to use Peacock and surprise me with a random color. I don't like that color. Surprise me with another random color. Sort of like, let's find like a React blue. That'll do. If you haven't used Peacock, Peacock's a extension for VS Code that does subtle changes to the UI of VS Code, just so like you can easily see things. So I've got multiple VS Code windows open, and if I Alt Tab, I can quickly tell which one's which because I can see there's the one with the blue border, which is the one that I'm actually working on, and it just writes this to the VS Code settings, which now created me a settings file here. Yeah, so it's added that in for me. So yeah, I could add some other settings there if I so desired, but that'll do. That'll do for the moment. Yeah, let's put call state in. You know what? I'm actually going to move the start call function as well. So we're going to pull start call up into the calling context because this is where the call agent lives. So we're going to pull this up here and we're going to create a start call, which will take which will be a void function. It is going to have start call, and then that can do nothing. Void, yeah, like default implementation will be nothing, and then we will grab the start call from here. Come over, add it to there. Oh, wait, will it be able to get to name? Because we get name from user call settings, and user call settings is lower down the tree, isn't it? It is. So the calling context provider won't have access to the user call settings context provider because that is a child context of the current context. So no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Let's undo those changes. Well, that would have been nice, but we're not able to do that. We are instead going to do const. I'm not going to capture call state as a local variable because I don't actually need it. Use call state and oops, use state. No, we don't do that. It'll just start off as an empty string. Actually, I wonder what call state is going to have as the viable options. Yeah, okay, well, no, we will go call state and it will start as call state dot none and call state. There we go. Yep. Okay, and then call dot on call state changed. We will have our set call state, which will be call dot state. Save that, and now start a new call, and hopefully, because that's going to trigger a refresh of our call state. Connected. Excellent. So we can confirm that we've connected to our call. Awesome. We don't know about muted. Is microphone muted? That'll be an interesting one because I'm not quite sure. So the answer to that should be false because we are setting a microphone on there, but is there actually call dot? So we can do mute. but that'll like that will mute and mute. So I reckon if we unmute, like we unmute on start because we're joining unmuted. Should actually pull these functions out into yeah, because I will need to do unsubscribes from those functions, I guess. And then identity. That's the other thing we've got. Call.identity. Caller identity. Now is that going to be writable? No, that's read only. Okay, well, let's just have a look in context and see if we have stuff. Maybe it's just not unpacking properly. Call identity. I don't know where that's actually going to be coming from. Call agent. Seems to be nothing on there that would indicate identity either. We'd have to do some debugging. Okay, that error message is all good. That's just the WebSocket's not working. Well, who knows? Who knows what identity represents? But we'll leave it there for the moment. Just leave it as not displaying anything. Connects to a new call. Oh, yeah, start a new call. Select all of our things. Start the call. Connecting. Errored. Failed to unmute the microphone. Object. So we've attempted to call unmute. I wonder if we can't unmute until the call contexts. So the call state is in a particular location. So let's have a look at here and unmute. There we go. So they do state controls mic, and that's on set microphone. Let's have a look. Where would that be called? Join. And then that, who knows what that's called. Oh wait, no, that'll be mute, which is going to be on the group call. And there is going to be a mute. Maybe. No, maybe mute doesn't work. Oh well. Well, we'll tackle mute state at another point in time. Okay, so we don't need that. Now we're getting the call state. That's all good. That's the first major thing that we want is that that we set up a call state, and then, well, let's commit that, and then let's make it so that someone else could join a call. Status git add. We'll just do .vs code. We'll just do the settings. Adding a peacock theme, and then tracking the call state properly. Okay, so what we want now is we want a new page, and we're going to create a join call. So TSX. So this will be our join call page. React const join call equals that, which will return a h1 join a call, and then export alt join call back to app.tsx. It's going to need to be in a protected route. That will be join won't take anything. Will be the join call. Okay, let's put our white space in. And on the home page, oh good, it's also what I said, join. Now that means that if we come here, we should be able to hit join a call, and we get our display saying join a call. Now, for this, we will need to have the call ID, some way for you to enter that, and then probably reuse all the stuff that we had on the connect page, like the camera picker, etc. Like we'll reuse that sort of stuff. So first off, let's have it so that we can start putting in the details so that we can join the call. And we're going to use some of this stuff from Fluent UI. Pop that in here. Okay, did I import? Okay, so we imported stack. So this is like our kind of our container component. We'll leave that there. And then we're going to need to have the call ID. So we'll have a text box for that. Then, yeah, then we'll have just all the stuff from the connect page. So we're probably going to pop out probably the entire connect page with the exception of this button as a new control. Oh, hello DevWheel. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for the follow. Yeah, okay, so this button here at the bottom is the one that starts the call. And so we're not going to do that because we're not going to call start call. We're going to call a different function, which will be join call, which will probably also use the active call context for that. So you can either start a call or join a call. But let's start with how are we going to lay this out? We're going to, yeah, we'll just start really basically. Text field. Oops. I didn't close my emails. Of course I didn't close my emails. I love how well this is going today. Notifications everywhere. Label, call ID. Placeholder will be enter call ID. We'll track just some local state. Call ID. Call it group ID. Because that's really what it is, and set ID. Like that's what we internally track it as in ACS. We're going to use state, and that will be a string that is, we'll start it off as an empty string. Yeah. I'm going to make this a bound field, so that will be value of group ID, and on change. So this is something that's interesting about Fluent UI is that the event handlers that we get will provide us with two bits of information. They will provide us with the DOM field, the DOM element that this came from. So this is the HTML input element as the first argument, which I don't need because they then unpack the value as a like as an actual property here, which will be the value. No, that will need to be. Oh, haven't imported you state. Yeah, well, let's do that. No, we're going to make this a string question mark so that I can actually start that off as undefined. No, sorry, it's string or undefined. Yeah, undefined string. And then this will be a set group ID as the value. And let's close that field. Check this out. There we go. Cool. Enter call ID. So that will be just where we paste in that big long GUID. I probably need to work out a better way to kind of like share calls around. Or actually, yeah, if we had it so that you could, if you, I have thoughts on this, but we'll come back to it. Like if you like click a link in an email, that's like how you join. We're going to have a bit of a redirect flow, but we'll come back to that because the next thing that we want from there is we want the details that are in the connect page, except for that button. So it's kind of actually this stack completely. So we're going to pull that out to new file and we'll call create this component as call settings. We'll call it user call settings. Ah, no. Missed the X. There we go. And we'll import React from React. Const user call settings. We'll grab this stack. Return. Boom. That. Let's import all the appropriate things from Fluent UI. Text field. Toggle. Oops, no. Toggle will be from Fluent UI. Camera picker. Mic picker. And then we need this all the way down to here. That will pop up to the top. Import all the appropriate hook calls. Current mic. No, I'm not going to need that. So I deleted that stack. Yes, I did. We don't need these anymore. And instead, we are going to chuck in a user call user call settings component. Helps if you export default user call settings. There we go. We'll import all of that. And now let's get rid of all of these unused using declarations. Look at that. We have just drastically reduced the amount of line of code in this file by pushing it across to a different file. Say you reduce code, you just move it elsewhere, hide it away. Missing a few more things. We need the renderer imported. Okay, because then on join call, we can chuck in a user call settings. Oh, didn't I import that? I missed importing that. We can reload this page. Ta-da! Probably want a bit of gap between there and there, don't we? So let's check this is a stack item. And maybe we'll chuck that into the stack item. And then we'll do tokens. Children gap of, let's just do a 10 pixel gap between them. Nice. So that will be there. And what we're going to need to do is duplicate this tab. We'll move it to a new window. We're going to side by side this. Yes, let's do that. Cool. Oh, I wonder why that text field is so enormous. Worry about that later. Okay, so now, oh wait, no, I need to probably wire up well, add a button. We're going to do a stack item. Well, let's just grab the same stuff here. So I will need current camera and current mic, which we'll get from there. Primary button, we will need to import. We will need to import that, and we're not going to use start call. We're going to have join call, which will be a function that we're now going to create on here. So the signature of join call will be it will take the group ID, which will be a string, and will return me nothing. And join call will, I've created a little utility because something that I can't work out if there's a better way to do this with React hooks, but so with React context and TypeScript. So with TypeScript, we strongly typed what the type of the properties for this context is going to be. So I call this active call context props, and all of that we have the start call, join call, and the call itself. And then when you create context, you got to define a default set of values for context. But I can't provide a default implementation of join call because that requires the call agent, which I can't access the call agent because I have to use, I get that off context, and we can only get that off context based off of where it's used. Simply put, I can't implement that function. So you either make them optional, kind of what I'm doing here with call, I'm making that nullable, so you then just don't have to provide it. But for functions, that doesn't make sense that they're nullable because, well, you're always going to want to use the function. So instead, I've taken to basically creating a function that will throw an error. But I was doing so many of those, I created a little snippet here, which is NIE, which is short for not implemented exception. I'm from a .NET background, and you throw not implement exceptions whenever you haven't implemented something yet. Makes sense. But I haven't got around to putting in implementations for different argument structures. So at the moment, this is designed to take a single argument. Whereas here, like I need like an implementation that has 0 arguments, an implementation that has like 2 arguments, so on and so forth. But I'm doing a lot of functions that take a single argument, so that's why I did NIE there. Okay, so there we go. Now we can implement our our join call function. Join call is going to take the group ID. It's going to get the call agent. So we're going to need to make sure that we have the device manager. So let's do this chunk of code. Work out why that has just string. No, okay, wait, what's it done? Oh wait, did I bring in too many squiggly? I did bring in too many squiggly brackets. No. Okay. So start call. I didn't bring in enough squiggly brackets, I don't think. Correct. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is we are going to push across to there. I think. I should actually probably have like a holding page. Because until the call, because then we can do like calling as connecting and then connected. Come back to that. Instead, we are going to do, well, I mean, this, I guess, except the group ID. So what happens if, let's just chuck all of this code in. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not like I can make things broken, he says famously before trying to run code that he hasn't tried before. Oh, well, that's cool. I haven't imported something. something from somewhere. In which you where? Okay, where's that? You one. It is in join call. Join call. That's it. And then join call will be nope. Const join call was use active all context. There we go. Okay, so that's not right. Group ID. I should actually make it so that you have to enter a group ID. Okay, so that's not how you spell group ID, Aaron. There we go. Okay. So the red squiggly, other than the fact that I typed group ID wrong, was because I can't pass undefined as the group ID. I have to pass a string. Putting the null check there means that it will always be available when it hits that spot. Okay. So on the left-hand side, let's start a call. There. We'll start a call. I'm going to grab this GUID. Actually, let's pop the dev tools. We'll dock it across the bottom on both sides. Let's just kind of see what happens. Clear out all these messages. Now, I'll use the OBS virtual camera here because I don't think I'm going to be able to connect to next. Oh, I can use the same camera. It's because it's the browser that's the one connected. It'd be my guess. Or maybe because I'm not rendering it out there. Okay. Well, it says start call, but that's actually going to do a join. It's clear. Oh, yes, look at that. I am getting feedback loops on myself. Ooh, I don't know if that's coming over stream. Because I don't have mute functionality, I can't fix that. Okay, I'm going to kill music for the minute. I can still hear myself in my own head, but that shouldn't push it out over stream. Hopefully, because I'm now listening to myself on a slight delay while watching myself on a slight delay in another screen. Actually, let's see if I can fix this. So I've got potato here. And where is edge? No. Sound. So this is how you can change where things are redirected to. So right now I am directing my voice to myself. Well, no, actually it should be going back to all channels, which means it's probably going out to stream. If I change it to let's go there. Let's set this one to right monitor and let's see if that does anything. It does not appear to fix that. Well, that's going to be somewhat frustrating. Let's just pop these back. Oh, hang on a sec. No. Wait. Okay, we'll leave these as defaults. And we're going to have to implement functionality very soon. It's going to be just a weird echo on stream. Actually, if I turn that off, there we go. Now I can't hear myself. You also can't hear the music, which is a little bit disappointing. Actually, if I go back to settings, no, sound settings, sound mixer options. No, yes. Do pretzel. We can pump this across to 3. There we go. I think that's going to be better. I'm not sure. Yes, actually, yeah. This is really confusing on like where stuff is going to. Yeah, I don't know what's. There we go. I think I've got it. So the music. Okay, so timestamp of like 1 hour and 3 minutes. So like for like 1 hour in, I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at the recording and see if I worked out how to redirect audios properly. Possibly did. Possibly did. That or I've like it's going to be just like a really tedious remainder of the stream where you can't actually hear me, and I've got no idea that you can't hear me because like I can tell that things are happening. Like I can tell that the video is still going out, but I don't have another device where I'm watching stuff on. Yeah. Also confusing. Anyway, back to matters at hand and things of interest. Okay, so we got a remote participant updated event fired. And we received a remote participant here. And that has that display name. The identifier will be the identifier of the ACS user, which is what we generate, that token we kind of generate server side. Well, it said they were speaking, maybe. But let's have a look. What did we get here? So we also received the remote participant event, and is that the same? Let's have a look. 53 is what the ID ends in. It is a different user. Yes, it looks like it might have actually worked. Like we might have an active call between the two sets. I mean, we're not currently showing display or like of the user or anything like that, but we might have actually like connected a call that is essentially a feedback loop that's going to blow my eardrums out. But we might have it working. I'm going to restart. Oh, look at I don't know if you caught that, but the state here changed back to disconnected, and that would probably be because the person who initiated the call has just left. Like I don't have a hang up button yet. The left as in they terminated the call there, but now disconnected. Ooh, exciting. Okay, let's do Aaron left. They can be on here. We'll start the call and then we will go back to join. Paste this here and then we'll go Aaron right with the same camera and microphone. Start call, so they're joining. Oops. Connected. Let's filter out how do I There we go. It's local stream. No. Verbose. Nope. Info. No. Let's just go back to all messages again. Okay, so local stream is there. Don't think I got anything saying that there was a remote participant connected, because they seem to be on a different call. That's problematic. Join, because yeah, Aaron, right, that join. Let's clear off the console. Okay. There we go. We have our remote participants, and then if we just let's filter these down to just the infos inside of main. Let's have a look at the remote participant. That is Aaron on the right. And then here we should have a remote participant, which is Aaron on the left. Yeah, look at that. We've established a call between ourselves. I mean, we're not displaying anything on the screen. We're not doing anything with the audio of the call. I mean, the audio of the call was coming from somewhere. That's interesting, because I could hear it. Maybe that's just because the microphone was active. Is there a... I wonder... Okay, next thing I want to have a look at. So I've noticed that on the remote participants, there's like an is speaking property. Oh wait, that's going to be a really difficult one to test, because I was like, well, let's have a look at the component. We can go to the call, context, call, maybe, come on, show me the properties. And I was kind of curious to see whether or not the the speaking value changes. But both connected users are using the same microphone. So, I mean, they're both speaking at the exact same time because it's going through the same audio channels. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. Okay, well, what I want, the last thing I want to fix before I commit the change is if I copy this URL here, and then we'll go. Actually, if we reload the page, it's going to get stuck on here. Because what's happening is it thinks that the only way you can get here is that the call already exists, which it doesn't exist yet, because I mean, the call ID exists, but you haven't connected to it. Oh, interesting. If either participant leaves, it disconnects the call. So there's no like call ownership or anything like that. That's kind of good to know. Oh man, I got so many more things now up and running. It's getting confusing. Yeah, I'm still working on the assumption that audio is going out. Okay. So the problem is that if you land on the call page, it will try and get the call from the call context, which it will. So that happens because it comes into here. The use state will be a null call initially. But the only way to assign the call is to either do a join call or to start call. But we can't, like, if there's nothing there, like if it's an undefined object, well, there's not a lot we can do. So I think kind of what we want to happen is that if you land on the call page, and then if there isn't a call, instead of doing a return, we're actually going to grab the history from React Router, use history. That's an import. So we use history, and instead of doing that, we're going to go. We're actually also going to need params. Const group ID. Wait, hang on a sec. Did I call it group ID or did I call it ID? I called it group ID. Excellent. Equals use params. We'll do history.push to /join /join/group $group ID, and then we'll return. Yeah, we're going to strongly type this. And a group ID is a string. That. Okay, so if you land on this page here, it will actually redirect you across to join with that. But the problem is that the return statement is missing, or the render should return. Yes, I should return that. Let's just go back to call and see if that fixes that exception. Okay, now what we're going to need to do is unpack the group ID from params. Spinner. So on call, join. How do we do? Let's just grab const params. We will import. Use effect on. Do push that up like that. Put this, and this will be, so this time group ID is going to be a optional string, and will be params.group ID. And now I can actually get rid of the generic arguments, because we can infer the generic arguments from params.group ID, which is a string undefined. Then, if we were to reload this, we should have the group ID populated, and we didn't at the present, because I didn't specify that in settings. So that will be group ID. Is that going to work? Maybe, maybe not. So there we go. There is the call ID that does exist. But what happens if I just hit join? Yeah, now the route doesn't match. No, if we go path, and that can be that, and then we'll also match /join. Now if we reload, we join the call, with an existing group ID. Excellent, that's what I want. And then instead of join call, instead of it saying start call, join call. Alright, there we go. Further, my microphone is putting a lot of additional audio. Not sure. Oh well. That's plenty in chat, so we'll go with that's okay. Well, I'm happy with that. Like we're establishing our calls. Let's add. I'm just checking something else. That's I had something missing in my OBS setup, but no, that's all good. It shouldn't have been affecting any major quality stuff. Okay, bit status. Let's just check. Okay, remit. Adding ability to join a call. Woo! Joining calls. Now we probably actually want to make it so that you can see that happening and so on and so forth. I don't need my headphones on because, well, I muted the audio that was going to those. But I do miss the music, so we do that. I think that's sending out music still. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. There we go. Oh, we'll see if I've created my feedback loop again. Oh, there we go. No, there's my music back in the headphones. Fixing things one at a time. Okay, sorry, where were we at? We did have yes, we got our call established. Now we probably want to start displaying the participants within the call on the call screen instead of just this generic information. So how are we going to do that? We're going to need to track the. That's where these two events are going to come in. Yeah, and we're probably going to clean up. We're going to need to clean this up a bit because we're going to need to, like, these event handles and stuff like that. They're going to need to be better implemented. In fact, like the only different logic between starting a call and joining a call is whether or not you provide, like, whether or not you do create the group ID. So I'm going to create a kind of a singleton function in here. Is the function going to live inside of this component? It's going to need to live inside of the component itself. So we're going to need to have local video streams. And we're going to duplicate this for set remote video streams, and this will be a local video stream array. Well, I mean, technically there should only ever be, should there only ever be one? Depends what screen shares are represented at. And this will be remote participant array. So this, instead of being local, this will be set remote participants. There we go. Import that. And I am going to create a new function that will be const connect to all, and that will take the group ID as a string. We'll do this as a function instead of a anonymous function, because the anonymous doesn't make a whole lot of difference, really. We'll make the assumption that the device manager and the call agent are going to exist. No, we'll put those in there because the null checks will be taken care of then. Yeah, there we go. So subscribe this event. We are going to need to have a couple more local functions. Function update video local video streams updated, which will take added, which is a what do we want? It's a local video stream array, and removed, which will be the local video stream array as well. Yeah, we'll make that as an object instead. That can be streams, which will be that, and then added and removed. I'm assuming that then means that you combine those with the ones that already exist. Because I don't actually know how added, how it works properly. So there's going to be some trial and error here. We got the local video streams, that can be there. And then we're going to kind of need to merge these three arrays into a new array, but let's just go set local video streams to added streams.added. We'll just do that for now, and then here we are going to just do local video streams updated. Function declarations are not allowed inside blocks. Okay, well, const equals that. Well then. Question is though, do we kind of want it? Do we want it inside of this function? I mean, it doesn't need to be inside of this function. Let's just push it out. It just needs to be able to get a hold of that. Do similar for remote participants updated. Remote participants. Set remote participants, which will be added. That one's actually going to be easier to test, the removal aspect. Okay. So the music is coming through way too loud, huh? Let's kill music for the moment. I'm assuming, is that actually sounding better? Yes. Oh, hang on a sec. No, if I go here, B1. So that's that. And then, actually, that's the. There we go. That's what I can do. That should then make the music a lot softer relative to everything else. I probably shouldn't have played around with voice meter too much before streaming. I should have maybe done some tests beforehand, but well, you know, gotta live life on the edge where you just run everything as like, this will be fine. This will be fine. What could possibly break? Remote participants updated, so that's going in there. Yeah, remote participants should be easiest. It should be the easiest one to test whether or not things work and don't work, because I'm going to need to make sure that call is going into. Wait, no, that's not a hook. Remote participants are easy to test because I can open up more machines and connect more people to the same call and stuff like that. So yeah, it should be easy to test. Then I'm going to create a new function for set the call state. Function handle call state changed, which won't take anything. And that will just do set call state to call dot state. We're going to go if call, because we need to make sure that the call does exist, and then that function will be removed, and we'll do call state changed. Come back to that, and then now this will just be connect to call UUID. We don't need UUID as a function. And then this one will instead just connect straight to the call. Connect to call root ID. So that's simpler. You can get rid of some of these curlies because we have shorter functions, semicolons, inline a bunch of that. Now, I'm gonna need a hook that monitors call. Yeah, that then can unsubscribe all of these. So we're gonna do a use effect on so this is going to have a dependency on call, and then this will return like this. So this effect hook is actually not going to do anything itself. It's just going to, if there is a call, we're going to do call.off, and actually we'll just grab all of these because we're then going to have to unsubscribe these event listeners from that call, and then do we dispose of the call? Call.dispose. No, we don't need to dispose of the call. That's good. Yep, we need to use effect there. Oh, those need to be done. Okay, that's cool. I will fix that in a moment. Off. So there we go. There we are, unsubscribing to those, and then I should probably actually do use callback on those, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm going to use the React use callback. So that is React hooks. So there's a React hook called use callback. So basically it creates a function that you can then use, like you intended to be kind of like passed into other like React hooks, and it will only change the callback, like because the callback will get recreated every time we every time the hook so the React component re-renders. Whereas if we use callback, it'll only change it if the dependencies of it are updated, which it's only the call state change one that will actually generate a new dependency. So yeah, that needs to go into here. So we do use callback. So this will just optimize these function creation. These function references, because otherwise we run the risk of the function that was passed in as the handler to the call being essentially we could end up with a memory leak, because it would then be no longer in scope. So it's a little annoying. Ideally I'd like to have pushed these all outside of the component itself, because these functions shouldn't need to change. I could probably do that. Yes, actually, I'm going to do that. Just no, I can't do that, because I need something that's only available inside of the scope of this. Okay, const. So those. Wait, const will equal react dot use call back, and then oops, no. Okay, so that should be right for most of them. And then we're going to need to put in our arrow there and close off that. We'll look at that error message in a minute. Close off that. Arrow in place. Close off that. The arrow is in place. Okay. Use callback. And then I forgot to pass in dependencies. So there's no dependencies for that first one. There's no dependencies for the second one. And then dependencies on the third one is call. Okay. Done. Now we do better hook management with this. We do local video streams updated, remote participants updated, and call state change updated. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got all of our dependencies properly wired in. Things are cascading up. We have the local video streams that are not being used yet, and we're also not using the remote participants. Remote participants. So we're going to have those there. Syntax highlighting breaks if it goes over those lines. And then that's going to start off as an initially empty array. So there'll be initially empty arrays for both of them because we don't have any remote or local participants. We are then going to expose the remote participants as a remote participant array, and we are going to do the local video streams are going to be a local video stream array. So they're going to be exposed there, and then we will have remote. So you'll see, like here, you can see the fact that I need to provide the default values, which kind of don't exist, and then local video stream and remote participants. Okay, there we go. So now we've got those are happening. That should be updating, should be going through state, which means that now inside of our call, where we're getting this, we can get the local video streams and the remote participants. Okay, let's do that, and then we're going to we'll do a new stack, and then we'll have a stack item, which will let's just visibility stake, not a H1. We're going to put in a put a H2 in here and say this should be you, and then we are going to need to do something to render out the local participant, your video stream, and then we will have maybe we'll do like another stack, and then inside of this stack we will have H2. Here's your friends, and then here's where we're going to output the remote participants. But I'm going to need to do something. So yeah, we sort of want to loop through the local video streams. Okay, let's establish the call and actually have a look at what we're getting in all of these things. So we're going to need to start a new call. Connect. Left. Camera. Okay. We'll join this one. Right. Camera. I should actually try and capture like a dud audio device so I don't end up with feedback loops. I'll play around with that later and try and work out precisely what needs to be where. All right, but in the meantime, we now have a call which has the nothing. Did we not get any? We didn't get any video streams. Well, that's disappointing. The local and the remotes are there, but the hook didn't, or sorry, the callbacks didn't fire. So it should have fired this, which should have set the local to added. The remote should have been added. Let's check the other one. Hooks. Sorry, actually no. Let's go up to no, active call context. We didn't get anything. Calling context, no. The state is both the times undefined. Drat. Okay. Well, easiest way to tackle this is just to create a entirely new connection. Right. 2. Console. Oh, hang on a sec. Maybe there's a. No, it doesn't look like there's anything useful in warnings there. Source. Okay, well, yep, this is what I want. So I want to hit breakpoint there and breakpoint there. Let's just see if. Oh, hang on a sec. I just noticed that the call status didn't get updated either. Which means that none of these event handlers fired. Okay. No. This one here. Oh, wow. This is the kind of stuff that gives me a lot of respect for the people that work on platforms like Teams and Skype and Zoom and WebEx, etc. Like, trying to do local development against a video call, like a video call platform, the thing that's underlying it, like, it's like doing my brain in trying to work out, like, you've got to have multiple machines open and things flying around, and it's just confusing. Okay, so we are setting up the device manager. So the device manager, everything, like, so they're there, they exist. set the mic. We're going to join that call, set it, and then, well, let's check the breakpoints in here as well. Local video streams, remote participants, and call state. Okay, so it's not firing off the events. I mean, we know that they hit. I wonder if it's because of how the callbacks are defined with the use callback. I mean, that's why. I wasn't supposed to do that. I double wrapped those functions, and that was the issue, I think. Okay, so now we've got too many calls running, and we don't need them all. We'll jump back to there. This one, we'll go to connect. Though it doesn't explain why state didn't update. One thing at a time. We'll come back to that one. L, grab that. Start the call. There we go. Now we've added video streams. But it's still not doing that. So let's join this one over here. And we'll pop the breakpoint there. Join the call. Right. Our options, join the call. Yeah. That use callback isn't being triggered. If we have a look at the component structure, we should be able to see on the activation context that we have a call that is in connected. Oh wait, no, there it is. Connecting. It's just running a bit. Oh no, I know what's wrong. It's going to be one delayed because of the way the hook is refreshing itself. It's going to have stale. It's going to be stale, so I probably can't use a callback there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think that one through a little bit differently, because it's what's happening is that this is updating. So it's updating the function reference so that we create the call, and it will then provide that here to that handle, like the reference, but then it's outdated because call didn't exist at that point in time. So yeah, it's somewhat of a race condition, I guess. Like that's probably one way you describe it. Yeah, but it's not ideal. That one will have to be a solution for another day. Okay, but instead we're going to focus on let's see if we can display some video. Okay, so we have local video source, which I actually know how to use because that's what we do on like the Connect screen. And that's how we show the picture of you in the Connect screen. And then we have this remote participant, which has mapped streams, maybe? I don't know. I'm not quite. Oh, we have an identifier for that use though. I have a display name and an identifier. I'm not quite sure what the identifier is representing, but the display name is probably what we care about. Okay, so on remote participant, there's probably going to be something that will give us access to the stream. Let's see. Is video stream updated? Remote video streams. Ooh. So they could have multiple remote video streams. I suppose if one is the screen share, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, let's start by trying to display us. Now to do that, I have a local video feed. Gonna need to create refs. So I think I might just create let's just do a component in here, local video display, which will take a stream, which will be a local video stream. And then this is going to create a ref, vid ref, which will be use ref of a HTML div element, and it's initially set to null, and then we're going to have we're going to return a div which has the ref of vid ref, and then I need that using statement, that import statement, using statement. There's my .NET heritage. That would be there. Then we will do use effect on the local video stream, on the stream and the vid ref, and we're going to create a renderer, new renderer from the stream. So the renderer is the thing that will actually display on the UI. Yes. So that will be stream : whoops. Why did I put that squiggle in there? I didn't need a squiggly bracket in there. No, I did. That is props. Yeah. And that will be props.stream. So because there's a component that's going to be the props that will be passed in, and then I have to strongly type the props. The props is going to have a stream. That will be props.stream. That is the thing that will be passed in. So, okay, back to the renderer. The renderer is the thing that will actually display the like on the component, like on the UI, as the video source. So then we're going to do const. No, we do renderer.create view, which is how we create a view from the renderer, which can be, it can be a remote video stream. So we're going to be able to use this component for a remote video stream, and we'll call this video display. So we create the view, and then that's going to return us a promise. So we'll do then, because inside of an effect hook, we can't have, we can't do something with the async and await keywords, and I'm just being a bit lazy. So we'll just handle the promise as we would normally. Okay, so we then get back the view, and then on the view, we're going to get the vid ref dot current, and then we're going to tell TypeScript that no, it does exist. Append child the view. Okay, view.target. Sorry, view.target. So that will then render the video display out on screen, and then we can do local video streams.map. We'll do vid stream. We'll do video display. Key can be the stream dot. I'm not sure what we're going to key that with, but we can go stream equals stream. And then if we copy that, and we'll do not remote participants. We'll do participant, and then the participant dot video streams map stream that, put in a couple more parentheses, and let's start a new call. See what happens. Back to connect. Call is disconnected. That's fine. We'll do left, which can. So this time we'll use the XSplit there. We'll start that call. We will deactivate all the breakpoints. We will remove all breakpoints. Okay. Oh, look at that. There's me. There's me. Is that the right way the camera should be facing? I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second. This one, let's get rid of the dev tools. And this can be right. And then this time we are going to use the OBS virtual camera. We'll do that. We'll join the call. Look at that. I don't have any remote participants though. Ah, why not? I thought I got remote participants with streams. There's not long left in the stream, and I was hoping that we would get that done. Let's have a look at our component 3. On call, context, remote participants. We have one. No, I don't. I don't get enough information. Like the React view there doesn't give me what I want. Let's go source. Okay, we are going to connect again. R2. We'll just do the OBS camera again. Join the call. Oh, okay, there we go. We've added. Okay, so we've added someone else to the stream. Let's have a look at what is in this. So we do streams.added video streams. They don't have any video streams. Why not? No. N-O-O-O. Why don't I get any video streams for the remote participants? I mean, it looks like the remote participant is providing a camera because they're like, I can see the camera there. And this is a lot of pictures of me on screen, and it's really tripping me head out as I might. So I've got things sitting absolutely everywhere, which is just like photos of me. Actually, let's take a photo of this one. This one could go up on Twitter. It's like, how many me's do I need? Let's just do that. Like, yeah. So much me. Just a sec. I've got to take a call. I will be back. Hi, sorry, I just missed the call. Yeah, good, good. Okay, okay, okay. Um, okay, I think we're gonna have to pick up the car in the morning. My wife's actually got a funeral tomorrow afternoon, so she's gonna need the car. Um, yeah, yep. So I'll either myself or she'll come down to pick it up. And if yeah, we'll just have to book in another time to get it fixed. Yep. Yep. Okay. Cool. That'd be good. Thank you. See ya. So that'll be like. All right. Sorry about that. Back again. It's kind of fun watching like the things all sort of like flow back down from OBS. Oh, it's trippy. I've got my car at the mechanics at the moment, and they were just calling to tell me that unfortunately it's not going to be ready today, which is disappointing. So we have to solve that problem tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, well, we're just about out of time. Only a couple of minutes left before we're wrapping up today. I'm going to have to dig in and work out why I'm not actually getting a stream from the remote participants. Out of curiosity, if I disconnect that person, okay, no, it's only when you go back to only having a single person in there that the call state will become disconnected. But yes, I'm gonna have to like between now and next week, I'm gonna have a dig into seeing if I can't work out precisely why I'm not getting any remote participants, or more accurately, why the remote participants, when they're coming in, are getting listed with a stream that doesn't like no remote video streams, because I mean it's attempting to display them. Like, we've got nothing to display, which I guess makes sense. If you've got nothing to display, then you're not going to display anything. Yeah, I was hoping, but at the very least, we've got the crux of this stuff done. So let's come in. Let's commit, git add, displaying the people in the call. Yay! And then we'll push this up. I should have tagged that commit because this is week 4, so we should tag that. Git tag. What do I call it? Part. Yeah. Git tag part 04, and we'll push the tags. But yeah, we got a good amount done. I'm happy with how much we got working, and the fact that we're actually like to the point where we're establishing a call, and we know that we can hear ourselves, because if I come in back in here and what was it? If I do that, we can get a lovely feedback loop. No, I think it was that one. Yeah, there we go. I get a feedback loop on myself. I don't think that feedback loop is coming on stream. It's really quite annoying. Let's turn that back off again for now. And yeah, so anyway, thanks for hanging out today. I think we got a good amount done. I'll be back same time next week. Let's move that out of the way, and you can watch my bobbling head. No, we'll pop back here. Yeah, I'll be back same time next week for another couple of hours where we're going to keep chipping away at this. And in between now and then, I'm going to see if I can't get it to actually show the remote participants. Because I think probably the next thing that we want to tackle is a bit better security. At the moment, just like as long as you can connect to the server, you can create calls, which might not be ideal. So we'll have a look at some better integration into Azure Static Web Apps as well. But yeah, again, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you same time next week.